Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Steven Universe Future. Last time on Steven Universe Future, we had Bismuth Casual. Steven, Connie, Pearl, and Bismuth all went to the roller rink to hang out, where Bismuth was introduced to many of Pearl's human friends. Steven was also introduced to many of Connie's human friends, and found it was a little hard to relate to them, kind of hard to really talk to humans. And he had some troubles, but eventually Bismuth helped him out, and then he went and he told Connie about his concern about them drifting apart, and how this all culminated in the fact that he doesn't know how to skate. Connie promptly told him that he was being ridiculous, and basically they got up, fused into Stefani, and they had a really nice roll around the rink, I suppose you could say. Yeah, that was pretty much it. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever, and with that being said, we should get right into this episode of Steven Universe Future. Here we go.
I'm still not sure if I'm going to major in political science with a minor in sociology, or major in sociology with a minor in poli-sci.
Did establishing democracy across the galaxy get you excited about politics?
Maybe.
Wow, that's incredible.
As far as long-term career goals go, I'm thinking more down to earth.
President. You know what? I'd vote for Connie.
Wow, 15 minutes went fast.
Aw.
Aw, Jayhawk, huh? Where's Beach City? Oh, that's really far.
Other side of the map. Easy.
I got split.
I'm so sorry, Steven. I'm running late to my lecture on alternate timelines. Have a nice day with the Scouts, beautiful. Mwah.
Oh.
Hey, Sapphire's got her thing, but you can still talk to old Ruby.
Interesting.
Walk and talk, Scout. I got things to do.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Okay, everyone.
Interesting. They will actually split up to do stuff.
When we're Stefani, I feel ready for anything, but on my own, I feel lost and stuck.
Interesting.
Ruby, what do I want?
Wow, that's a tough one.
I know.
This is a bit much
Connie
for
will
Ruby, I
probably
think.
go far away for Connie is my future.
Steven!
Oh my gosh. Easy there.
Propose!
What?
Oh, it's a little too early for that.
I'm not.
Do it!
Oh my gosh.
You sure?
Ruby is such a shipper.
After me? Love. It's unquantifiable. Even with my clairvoyance, I know better than anyone that true love makes the impossible possible. Do it,
That is
Steven.
true. She
Do
never
it.
predicted Garnet.
Do it! Do it!
Do it!
Yeah. All right, friends. Take a good look at this guy.
I've been using do it a lot recently.
Today may be his last day at Steven Quartz Cutie Pie DeMayo Diamond Universe.
Is that his full name? Steven Quartz Cutie Pie DeMayo Diamond Universe. That Garnet did say his middle name was Cutie Pie. Oh, I know that reference.
You remember the first time we met?
You mean when you were trying to ride your bike on the sand and you ran away screaming?
Yeah, exactly. I was trying everything to get your attention.
Oh, I can't do this episode.
Totally focused on my book. Steven?
Connie, will you marry me?
What?
Let's get married and live as Stefani.
What?
Well, as Stefani.
Steven, maybe we should talk about this first?
I know you might think I'm being sentimental, but this makes sense. For example,
Well, you don't need to do the Stefani part.
But Stefani does. You don't want to be Stefani with me?
Of course I do, but I want to be my own person too.
Yeah.
Well, is it a no?
It's a not now, Steven.
Not
But
now. That's
If
better.
we're sure that we're gonna spend our lives together, why not say it now?
We've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I'm not worried. I'm just
You're worried.
happy to be with you.
You're still worried.
I'm happy to be with you too.
This could have been called Steven Universe Worried. Ah. Okay. Easy. Alright. Hey, Garnet. She knew. Of course she did. Sapphire would
I
know.
don't get it. Ruby and Sapphire said I should go for it.
You can't trust love advice from those two hopeless romantics.
Why didn't...
Your soulmate is your complement, not your missing piece. Ruby
Yeah.
and Sapphire love being together, but they each have their own individual lives.
It's just that you make it look so easy. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is kind of your fault for being so perfect.
I know
Damn.
you're upset, Steven.
Well, maybe shoving this adorable cake in my face will make me feel better.
It really, really won't.
Aww.
I'm doing it anyway.
I know.
Oh no. Oh, that was it. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know how many more episodes of this I can take. He's really, he's losing it. Like, we got a little bit better last episode, but he's just losing it, man. He's just losing it. This is so hard to watch, you know? And there's like, I don't know, like, what do you do, man? What do you do? Connie, that was the best, like, anything she could have said. That was the best. But it didn't help. This is tricky. Oy. I'm so glad, like, I mean, like, everything's cool with Connie, which is good, but it's just, everything's cool with Connie, but, like, I'm glad, I can't do that. I can't put my head on my wrist like that, because otherwise it'll hurt to high heaven. Like, I'm losing my words. He's losing his mind. I'm losing my words. Okay. That, luckily he didn't, like, scare Connie away or anything. Like, he didn't scare Connie away or anything. You know, she took it like a champ. And she really did, you know, like what she was saying was good, you know, with, like, you know, you gotta give it time, you know, they're still young. Ugh, it's just Steven who's losing it, man. We should talk about the notes. The first thing I wrote down was split. The split of Garnet, actually. Now, that was very interesting, actually, that Ruby and Sapphire are willing to split in order to go do their stuff, you know? Sapphire goes and gives her class on timelines. Ruby goes and, you know, leads the scouts. That was very interesting, actually, because, I mean, that's the thing is, one of the constants throughout the show is Garnet. And the fact that Garnet doesn't split for almost anything. That being said, one of the times that they, you know, because other times that they have split during the show are they're forcibly split, you know, like Jasper splitting Garnet at the end of season 1, or later on after the reveal of both reveals, actually. The first being the first reveal being, Pearl was, doing some shady stuff in order to fuse with Garnet. That split Garnet up into Ruby and Sapphire, or the revelation about Pink Diamond split Garnet into Ruby and Sapphire. But there is one time, at least that I remember, where Garnet split into Ruby and Sapphire, like, willingly, like, without, like, a horrible situation. That was when, all the rubies came, and, Garnet was like, I have a plan. Or actually, we have a plan. She splits back into Ruby and Sapphire, and then they go and have the baseball game. So it's not impossible. It's just rare that Garnet does that. So I actually find it really interesting that, like, everything, like, at the point that we are at now, Garnet can just split into Ruby and Sapphire so that they can go do their classes, basically. That's very interesting. I actually really like that. Yeah. I wrote down Jayhawk. So, yeah, Jayhawk, where Connie is going to go to college, is on the other side of the country compared to Beach City. And so she and Steven are going to be separated for a while, which sucks. Now, she used to be wasn't it space camp or whatever? I guess she's done with that. Now she's going to college. I will say it's a little tricky with how much time passes in between the end of season 5 throughout. Like, at the very least they say, 2 years pass between the end of season 5 and the movie. And then after that, you're really kind of left like, how much time has gone by since Spinel, basically. So yeah. So Connie's going to go to Jayhawk. Obviously, Steven's having a panic attack about that because, of course, he is. Now, it was interesting the way he was talking about it. Like, he's always sure of himself when he's Stefani. Like, Stefani is so confident, but Steven is so lost when he's not Stefani. Now, that's an interesting idea because, with how much Steven has been going through, it's interesting that Stefani still works. Like, the two of them can still fuse. And, with fusion, you kind of need to be on the same wavelength and everything. Like, yes. And now, it's not, I suppose that's not necessarily true because with Malachite, like, they were able to fuse, but then Lapis took control and trapped Malachite at the bottom of the ocean. So I suppose it doesn't have to be like a perfect sync, So I guess that makes sense, but Stefani didn't show any problems. Stefani never shows any problems, or at least, last episode she didn't show any problems while she was fused. So that was interesting, just hearing it's like, everything is so clear to Steven as Stefani, but he just can't get that on his own. And it is sort of the thing with Garnet, is that if anything, Steven is kind of Ruby and Connie is Sapphire. Because, the interesting thing about Garnet is you can see Garnet, and then you can see Ruby and Sapphire. And while, yes, you can see some of Ruby, there is a lot of Sapphire in Garnet, And it's really like moments where Ruby starts to shine through. Again, another example would be, I love when, Steven gives his phone to Garnet. It's like, you need to talk to Connie's parents and say you're my mother. And she just takes the phone. Yes, they're fine. They're playing swords. No, wait, they're playing with swords. Oh no, they're bleeding. Oh no, they're dead. Don't call again. Sorry, I panicked. Like, you can definitely tell in that moment that is Ruby panicking, but Sapphire's demeanor coming through. And so the same is sort of here with... The same is sort of true with Stefani, is that it's Steven and Connie, but Connie is what keeps Stefani, under control, pretty level-headed. Steven still has the panic attacks, though. You know? Now, granted, we didn't see a lot of Stefani last episode, and we really haven't seen Stefani that much since. Like, it's been a while since we've really just had Stefani. I think this is the first time, at least in Future, that we've seen her. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just so complicated, and Steven is so losing it. And then I wrote down proposal. Oh, immediately I was like, this is not going to work. It would have been crazy if it did work. If she said yes, and then you go into, what do we do now? But that would require a bunch of different episodes, and I don't know, like... Steven Universe Future is still pretty it's pretty episodic, but at the same time... It's pretty episodic, but at the same time, it does have, the continuing character arc, at least for Steven. So, I don't think you could really go into, like, a wedding without, like, some sort of a story arc, not just a character arc, basically. Like, it would cease to be episodic at that point. So, yeah. But yeah, the proposal, which... That's a very RWBY plan. That was a very RWBY plan for Steven to propose. So, and okay, I didn't realize until later when he actually did propose. It's not just that he wanted to get married. He wanted to become Stefani permanently. As permanently as Garnet is. It's like, no, that's... Like, the marriage was one thing, when I was just thinking it was just marriage, like, no, that's not a good thing. That's not why you get married. And then add on Stefani, and it's like, okay, no. Oh, boy. So, but I did like going to Sapphire. Because at first I was like, oh my gosh, he's interrupting Sapphire's class for this, and it's like, he goes over Sapphire, and she's like, right on time. It's like, yeah, I guess she would know that Steven would come interrupt them, so that was funny. And then, them trying to figure out all the probability and, like, trying to figure out the equation of marriage, and it all washes away, and she's like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to teach you. There is no equation. You just go do it, Which is true. Because, you can't just look at every possible future for a marriage like that. That is true of this show because it just doesn't work. Like, it's such I don't want to say like a foreign element to like her future vision and stuff, but it's a different sort of it's a different sort of variable, which is why, when she was supposed to be poofed by the crystal gems thousands of years ago, she never predicted that Ruby would save her, and they would fuse into Garnet. That never came into her visions, and that's what she's trying to tell Steven. It's that you can't just, you can't calculate all this out. You can't, figure it all out through math or future vision or anything. You have to just do it. That was the problem, though, is that he had to do it then. But Garnet did know that he would end up... Well, either Garnet knew that from the beginning, which I could kind of see if Garnet knew all of this was going to happen, or if it was at that point where Sapphire saw the future, saw everything that was going to happen then. So, I'm not sure, like, where the future vision would have started. Did it start with Garnet before he, went to her, or did it start with Sapphire when he interrupted the class? I don't know. Now, I do want to look what was Steven's full name. I just passed it.
Yeah. All right, friends. Take a good look at this guy while you can, because today may be his last day as Steven Quartz Q
Steven Quartz Cutie Pie DeMeo Diamond Universe. That's his full name. And I do remember that episode where Garner was like, your middle name is Cutie Pie. And it was like, ah. And so that's hilarious that they brought that back. So Steven's full name, Steven Quartz Cutie Pie DeMeo, Greg's original name, DeMeo Diamond Universe. Oh my gosh, because they keep revealing different things. And I remember that episode where they first revealed the name, DeMeo with Andy, fucking Andy, with that, that very awkward episode. But I remember when it's like, oh yeah, that's our original last name is DeMeo, not Universe. And Steven was like, DeMeo is such a cooler name than Universe. Oh man. I wrote down advice. I love that Garnet being both Ruby and Sapphire is still like, don't take advice from them. Don't take love advice from them. What are you, crazy? So I thought that was funny. So, and then missing piece. Excuse me. Yeah, that's the thing. Connie is not the missing piece. She is your complement. I did like that. And that is true. Ruby and Sapphire were technically not missing something, but they were complemented by each other. And that's the thing, is Steven is just trying to look for his missing piece, He's basically looking for a free pass to, the happy life. He's trying to... The only reason he wanted to be Stefani was because he thought, well, Stefani is better than I am. You need to be better, Basically, you can't have Connie carry you. That's what they were trying to teach him. So, I don't know. We got, what was it, 7 more episodes? Gonna be a long 7 episodes. We'll see just how far Steven breaks down. So, yeah. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Steven Universe Future reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.